So, guys,
Is she not an
Happy
intro person?
New Year!
we are live.
Woo!
How is everybody doing?
Are we? That's it. Like we're going straight into it. Like,
I don't know.
Heyo guys, Happy New Year! Welcome back to INCS. This is our first episode of 2023 Jordan season. We taking over. Yeah. We got some celebs in the house and wannabe celebs in the house. And we got a man that's rocking that yacht drip. So hopefully we're gonna start recording from a yacht very, very soon. Man showing chest hair. I didn't even know that black people can get chest hair like that.
Let's calm down.
All right. So yeah, my name is Ndalo, as you know, the guy with the loud voice. Yes. And then we got Bianca on my left. Came through with that heavy drip. She's wearing a leather jacket. And it's like 30 degrees outside in Durban.
Drip is forever.
Guys, my apartment is really like chilled. It's like very cool in there. So I didn't feel the heat at all. And then I just came here.
Stretching hands. And then we got we're gonna skip our producer because he's very important. But we got Marie's Drive. You can drink it on the far right. Far left, sorry.
Come on, Dala. Dala, waiting.
How? I just
The
introduced her.
multimedia personality, you
Come on,
forgot to
Dala.
say it. You know the vibes.
Miss, you know the vibes.
Can I do it?
Multimedia, Tony. Yeah, she'll explain herself. Introduce yourself, Marie.
So, Marie's Dry, multimedia personality. I do everything, you know. TV, radio, MC. You know,
Except
if you want to
Roto.
hire me, come on, darling, stop it now. Don't be mean. But anyways, yeah, it's been a very hectic day. I was on set today. I was on set today, and I was shooting this like new movie that's going to be out next year. You know, these
You
four
forgot to mention it's international.
Whoa.
So yeah, man, Marie's Drive, multimedia personality. That's why they call me multimedia personality, because baby, I'm all over the show.
Oh, my word.
Thank you. And Happy New Year. It's 2023 and I'm turning 23. And yeah, man.
They don't need to know your age. You're legal. That's all they need to know. And then we got Sipe, our producer.
Shout out, guys.
Well, thank you, Drip coming through hard. I don't even know if people still wear white pants, but clearly this man's bringing it back.
Yeah, I'm trying something,
Shumaya. Remember, it used to be a
But
thing.
you're rocking it. You look dope.
I know,
Shout out,
guys.
thank you.
Even the hair is. I got that undercover brother, you know. Steve Harvey, comb
I
over
like
going
him with the
on.
beard though. Like him with the facial hair.
Thank you, guys.
So,
I
ladies, he
appreciate
is
that.
single. His DMs are open, so you are welcome.
But
Welcome
you
to
really
Single.
need to have like super good English.
Immaculate English. And you
Somebody
must
was
be-
telling me that I intimidate women. Like
With
they
that
said
English,
that
for
apparently,
sure.
I
yeah.
think it's your tone though. Your tone is you have a very strong tone. Even if, like it's who you are, but you have a very strong tone.
It's like, listen to me, bitch.
Like, I mean, that's what you're saying. In a verse is what you're saying. Because even if you're like answering a question, it's a very strong, this is CP talking tone. You get what I'm saying?
But I don't understand how that works. Well, like, how does that intimidate? Like,
To people who are not confident, will intimidate.
hectic.
To people who appreciate it, they can respond back and be like, you know, this is someone that I can actually to have a conversation with because he has a strong voice. You get what I'm saying? So you could be like the Barack Obama behind the scenes though. By that I mean like you won't be the face, but if someone was to say that this is what you should say, they'll be like, that's probably the proper Sipa said. You get what I'm saying? Because that's how strong your voice is, and you give thought into what you're saying. Your data's about to run out. I literally saw the message from here. But
Actually, go off live. These people getting this for free.
man,
Before time.
before
I
time,
don't
yeah.
have daughter.
So yeah, that was our
Happy New Year,
intro.
guys.
Happy New Year. A lot of stuff has changed. A lot of drama's gone on.
Like?
No, just saying drama in terms of gossip and news
Oh, yeah.
and life and stuff. And Ramaphosa saying it's out of my hands, guys. I can't control ESCOM.
Crazy.
So
It
yeah,
was actually so crazy. Guys, I'm actually quite scared about like where we're going as a country.
we're going back to lockdown.
All of that.
Is
like
it?
Yeah, there's a
electricity,
new variant that's
the
popped out.
the
Apparently it's
interest
much
rates
more-
on everything is just it's just becoming ridiculous, honestly.
I don't think we'll go back to lockdown. Just because after how bad China's second lockdown was and how bad the rest of the world received that, and also South Africa's very go with the flow when it comes to international things. So the fact that the rest of the world is deciding to live with COVID, I think that's what we'll do.
As for go with the flow.
But what we need to be worried about is the interest rate and the recession that's coming.
Yo, you have not. When I first bought my car, I was paying 3.1 installments. I am now paying 4.3
What?
in the space of 6 months.
Jeez.
Would rather
So
take a
that
tax.
tells you how much the rate has just gone up. And I'm just like, what the hell? If that was the case, I would have just been a polo driver. I would have bought myself a polo. Yeah, polo nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm paying.
You're
polo
literally
privately.
paying
I'm paying
polo
polo
prices.
prices right now.
Same with taxis as well. Taxi fares has gone shoop right up.
Ubers as well. Yo, guys, it's actually it's scary.
So
it's really scary.
And the thing is, like, we are now in a point where we need to find financial jobs now, where we got to put your passion a bit on the side and push like finance, because you don't know what we're walking into.
True.
There's no certainty of that job is gonna.
But
it's
how
also-
many
it's
jobs
like
do you
what-
actually need to have in order for you to sustain yourself? Because one job is not going
It's
to be
not.
enough.
It's
Okay,
not.
enough
And
anymore,
what
eh?
is going to be a certain job in the next 10 to 15 years? I mean, with the
Exactly.
creation of the new AI chatbots, now there's a marketing company it's just started now. They're using AI interns.
Imagine.
So they're trying it out for the next 3 months. All of the interns are just going to be AI chatbots. We're screwed.
Imagine.
We're screwed. And like South Africa already has like what, 40% unemployment at the moment?
That's going to
That is
increase.
wild, guys.
Mostly blacks.
Those are wild
Yeah.
stats if you think about it.
That's every other person.
So we literally in this room now, there's like five of us? So 40% of that would be 4 of us. Or 2.
Yeah.
2. Yeah, 2 of us.
But that's still
Can't
crazy
say
though,
2.5.
That's so
40%.
crazy.
So even
Unemployed. As
Unemployed,
in
bro.
you can't even
Oh my gosh, I
buy
just
groceries
realized.
and clean.
yeah.
What?
Just so that everybody knows, she's counting Sheldon, who's off screen as well. People are going to think that we're idiots.
Like there's a ghost somewhere.
What,
Like, what's
what is
happening
she
here,
talking
guys?
about?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So that was not the topic we want to speak about, but yeah, it's just life, eh? Like life in essays. Yo, it's not becoming pleasant anymore, eh?
Where would you go?
But honestly, because of my job, Canada.
And you?
I wouldn't go anywhere.
But let's just say you did go somewhere, pay.
I wouldn't be surprised. Australia. This nigga looks like an Australian.
No, but
I
a
would
lot of
go
people
somewhere
are moving to
I hate
Australia,
Australia.
hey?
That's
And
always
the
been, that's always been a
UK.
thing. That's what Australia and New Zealand's always been a thing for the
I know the
white
majority,
demographic.
like colored people, normally move to Australia
But
because of the
people-
welding and stuff like that.
But it's also
because of the
because
education.
the culture is very similar to like middle class South African culture. But the problem with Australia and New Zealand is one, everything is trying to kill you about you, like in the whole country.
Yeah.
And two, I don't like the racial history or the politics of the country. So, for example, the Australian government back in the day, they used to have this policy where they tried to breed out Aborigine people.
I remember that, yeah.
So they would get people, they tell you to have an Aborigine maid, and then they tell like the father of the family to sleep with the maid so that the baby comes out colored. And then your kid has to sleep with that kid so that like as it goes down the generations, the kid gets whiter and whiter until there's just white people. So they were like, we're not going to do any like Third Reich, like World War II stuff, but we're going to do it in a way that they deemed was more like, okay. So they've got like a really
had no
deep
idea about
racial
that.
history.
It doesn't hurt to read, Maurice.
So
I'm a celebrity.
for the...
No, celebrities do read, but anyways, Dali, so weird.
So for that reason, I'm like, I don't know.
But where would you go?
I would go somewhere totally different. I'd go to like Thailand or Bali.
Ooh, tropical places, nice.
Yeah.
I'd
I
actually
mean,
go
the
to
Fitz
Kenya.
agrees.
Yeah, the foot does agree.
Yeah.
That's,
I wanna go
So-
East Africa. That's
Why?
where I wanna go. I
Kenya,
don't know.
Why Kenya?
The economy there's doing really well. It's like doing really well in terms of the whole continent. They're doing better than us, I even think. Like in terms of how they're growing. So I see more like you know how everybody moves to South Africa because South Africa is like
Yeah.
yeah.
They
So
really
I
get
feel
you.
like that's the new place for us now to move to.
Kenya.
Yeah, like East Africa and J.
Yeah.
But isn't it like in reason? So like, how do I put it? So for example, Nigeria has a better economy than South Africa, but Nigeria has
More
Boko Haram.
populated.
Do you know what I'm saying? So isn't it one of those things where it's like, okay, so Kenya might have a more booming economy, but we probably have more roads. Like, you know? So it's probably like catch-22 because I'm always just
We have
so
it soft here, hey.
Exactly. I'm always so like, I don't know about the rest of Africa. Like I've always wanted to journey and check out like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But I've never felt the intense need to see the rest of Africa.
Yeah.
Really? Yo,
Yeah.
that's like my first thing.
Really?
Yeah, yo.
Why?
I just wanna, like, I feel, I enjoy, like, meeting foreigners, especially African ones. I shouldn't even call them foreigners. But I've learned so
I
much.
was
Why
like-
shouldn't you call them foreigners?
Because they're African.
But they are from a foreign land.
It's an African land. That's not foreign.
I don't get this though. I find that, and I love this because this is gonna go into our next topic
Okay, I was
of
about to say,
blackness.
yeah, okay, all right,
Is-
chef. I was about to get there.
So, do you think that because other people are African from another country of Africa, they're like linked to you? Like they-
Definitely.
Okay, so like, here's my thing, right? So like, Greek white guys don't think that they're linked to Portuguese white guys.
Duh, because they not.
Taiwanese people don't feel like linked to Indonesian people.
But then that's the topic, right?
No, what I'm trying to say is, why is there this thing where it's like, oh, there's this united black front and we're all Africa and we're all black Ubuntu? Why is that a thing with just black people?
I don't know, and I don't think it's just it's like such a black thing. I also think Asian people are the same.
No. Japanese people and Chinese people don't think of each other like, oh, we're brothers.
Really?
They hate each other. They had massive wars over years and years. Korean people and Japanese people aren't just like, oh, yeah, we're niggas. Like, you know? North Koreans and South Koreans aren't just like one united Korea.
Yeah,
All
but
Korean
Korean
shit.
We Korean this.
Isn't that like more of like because of the politics? Isn't that like a political thing?
But here's the thing, right? There's politics in play when it comes to black stuff too, all right? So why does it not apply? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I worry that
get
it's
you.
manufactured.
Hey.
Like the notion that we are one, like African brotherhood, like
Yeah.
you know,
Brothers
like
and sisters.
I feel like it's an idea that is manufactured. It's an idea that's created, and often sometimes you notice where it's like people view like let's look at white guys for example,
Yeah.
right? White guys don't feel like I am linked to French people, so now I need to give a shit about like French people. It's like
White
I'm
people
English,
don't give
I'm
a
gonna
shit,
do my own
like,
thing.
General.
Okay, then let's leave white people.
Okay.
Let's talk about Indian people.
Yeah.
Indian people aren't like going
Wait,
like,
which ones?
oh.
South African, Indian? Or
No, I'm talking about
There's a difference.
Indian
Like,
people
dialogue,
in
there's a
India. I'm
difference.
talking about
Okay.
Indian people in India.
Yeah,
Mumbai.
okay.
They aren't crying about what's going on to Bangladeshi Indians.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why, as black people, do we
Should
need
we-
to give a shit about like other black people hundreds and thousands of miles away whose lives are not gonna affect ours at all?
I think we just grew up just viewing another black person as one.
Yeah.
That was just, how can I say it? Was
Yeah.
well, I don't want to say it was driven down to us, but just growing up, we were just told that African is our brother and sisters, like the motherland.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
motherland. So I don't think there's a real core reason as to
Yeah.
why we were told that, but we were just told that and we just ran with it.
I think it's part of being black or be born to even because like if I walk in here and I see your mom, I'm gonna say Sawubona ma. She's not my mother. And I can't say that to a white person. They
Hello,
actually
mom.
get offended.
Yeah, they'll be like, I'm not your mom. You get what I'm
You
saying?
can't even say
Yeah.
Auntie Sandra. Like, don't call me auntie,
It's
call me
disrespect,
Sandra.
Sandra, yeah, call me by my name. Direct.
But when it's black people, you walk in and you have to be like Sawubona ma, and then a small kid will come to you and say, Auntie, Auntie Bianca, Auntie Spanban.
They won't just call you by your name directly.
I think it's just like a respect type of a thing, and we've always been family oriented. Like we're all about togetherness and oneness. And did you know that?
So
like,
I'll ask you this question. So, as black people, you say that we've always been very family oriented. But now, so here's my thing, right?
did you hear that?
This is going to be a difficult one. So, statistically, though, black people have the most disjointed families. Like
yeah.
the most families without
but
fathers.
this-
Wait,
but
let him
evidence-
finish,
Okay,
let him
okay.
So, like, don't your statements clash each other there?
Okay, so we've always been a united front until we had visitors, until we started having to attend church, until our mothers needed to go into missionaries, until our fathers needed to work on farms and mines and in. So that's basically what disjointed us. But if you look at us like back in the day, and even like proper African families, the ones that are still operating the way that any family should, we are born no umdeni is like a thing. But then because of work, people needed to travel and leave their wives and families, and then they'd have babies outside of their marriage, and then it would cause issues. And that's why we have people like me who are born from a man who's actually married to somebody else. Then I end up being
Outside of
brought up
wedlock.
then I end up being brought up by a single mother, type of a thing. And then where you find like my mom is bringing me up by herself, and there's not much of family from her side because of the same thing. So I think that's what actually upset the whole structure of family for Africans.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You were
Yeah.
about to say, Ndalo, sorry,
Oh, no,
when
no,
you were
I want-
interjecting.
I want to see where this goes. By all means, continue. I want to see where this goes.
Continue.
Continue.
Continue,
But anyway,
simple.
just if you haven't grasped the concept, we're speaking about what it means to be black. And because it's such a broad topic, we thought we would just put stuff in there and see where we land up.
What does it mean to
You
you?
almost asked me how old.
No, what does it mean to you being black?
There's with us black people, there's many aspects, because there's the cultural aspect, then there's the traditional aspects, then there's the what you should know aspects, and then there's the also now we're in a stage of blacks are being, I don't want to say woke, but blacks are recognizing what they should do and be like, you know what, I'm gonna try to do it this way, like try to do my own
Yeah.
thing. So we're also going through that as blacks. But my biggest grip with this kind of not the topic, but with this kind of issue has always been, I don't think we should be allowed to pick and choose what suits me being black. By that I mean, simple example will be, if I go and marry a farm girl and say, listen, I'm marrying you to be a mother to my kids. I'm gonna be the man that does everything. You're gonna be the mother that just takes care of the kids. You get what I'm saying? Now, fast forward that into now, a girl will be like, you know what? I want to be a stay-at-home mom, but doesn't want to do the mom part. She wants to hire nannies and whatnot. So she wants the perk of staying home, but not the actual work of staying home.
Yeah.
So she's not choosing the whole thing of being black. She's picking what works for her, and like, you know what, I'm clearly not work, because most women would like that. Like a guy that has money, he does all the work. I stay home, I do Pilates and whatnot. So that's where for me it comes in now. We lose ourselves as black people, because we are now adopting a Western idea or thoughts that we've seen on TV. That this is what we now see, Real Housewives or whatnot. That's for me has always been my biggest gripe, is that we can't pick and choose when to be black.
Do you know how deep that can go, though?
No, I wanted to go deep, and I really have these kind of conversations, because the moment I say something like this, people automatically get offended, but they don't want to listen to what I'm actually saying. I'm like,
understand.
no.
I get you.
Oh, let's
but
talk
I'm
about
saying
it. Unwrap it.
if we have to like really go into what he's saying, like that we shouldn't pick, choose, and refuse when to be black and how to be black. It would also go as far as just being like, for instance, you're sick today. Instead of going to a doctor, hambo uyobona inyanga. You're a black person. There's traditional medicine. It's actually where our pharmaceutical companies flip and derive. Like from where all our pharmaceuticals derive.
I don't think that has anything to do with being black. That has everything to do with being Zulu and Nguni.
Yeah, I was about to go into that.
So that's another thing. That's why I said Nguni.
Sutu.
But that's what I'm saying.
So
in your
wait,
family,
let me finish my statement. Yeah. So essentially, what I'm trying to say is this. What I'm trying to say is this. Okay.
Wait, let me finish my statement.
So I believe that being black is just the color of your skin.
Mm-hmm. Purely color of your skin.
It's purely just the color of your skin. Your culture denounces everything else. So you may be a Zulu guy from Durban, and you may do a lot of things that you define as black because all the black people around you do that. But we don't do the same things that black people in New York and Detroit do. We might do some of the same things as some black people who are in the same economic environment as us, due to the fact that poor people have to do the same things. But sometimes those are the same things as like white trash people have to do in America too. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, I find that we like to create reasons as like, okay, so for example, what you're saying, your example is you're saying, I'm black. Why don't I, instead of going to a Western doctor, so to speak, go to Inyanga? I don't think that has anything to do with being black. That has to do with being Nguni. So you're just deciding to utilize your Nguni culture.
Okay. I'm gonna agree to disagree with you, CP.
We're not fighting you. No, we're not fighting you.
We're not fighting.
Let's disagree.
No, but we're opening up the topic.
We're not fighting.
I don't think it's not.
Let's fight.
I can't say. I don't want to say it's not a. I don't want to say it's a Nguni thing. It's a black thing.
So
I think,
but you're segregating Ethiopian black people from the DRC and Congo.
No, I'm actually not, because if you go there and if you actually investigate what they do,
when they
don't
sick.
go to doctors, bruh. They have medicines. They use spices of some sort or have rituals that they do to each other at home. Which is the same, like for me, if we square that into showing that, then that's how it's supposed to be.
And you don't think that's just like their like culture, their like Patois culture or their Swahili culture or their...
So it differs from culture to culture. It differs from culture to culture. So like Zulu people may have to go see Inyanga, whereas Klampe Abesutu, they just use water or whatever the case is. But what I'm saying is going back to your actual Bantu practices. Njoba etundalo, when it comes to like being a housewife, don't be half a housewife. So I'm saying if we have to go full on being black, then we would have to also go back to like our practices, our Bantu practices.
But here's my thing is, I dislike the notion that you are putting forward that there's activities or there's things that you have to do that make you black. And if you are not doing these things, then you are not black.
Sir, points of order. Let's just correct that notion, because I don't want people hearing that notion. I did not insinuate that. I did not say that. I did not say what you just said. No, but I'm just like, what is insinuating? I'm listening. I'm like, this statement sounds so wrong and so bad. No, I'm not insinuating none of that. What I'm saying my point is that you can't pick and choose. You get what I'm saying? I'm not saying you must be forced to follow all the practices of the black culture.
To be black.
And also, culture and being black is not the same thing. You know? And you're not forced to culture. It's when you make the decision of, you know what, I want to be a part of that culture. That's when I'm saying you must now accept it. That's what I'm talking about, that you can't pick and choose what to take away from that culture aspect, because it is a culture aspect of the man goes to work and the female stays home. It's now built into a culture aspect. That's how our parents were raised. So it's a cultural aspect. It's not being a black thing.
But you just said culture and race are not the same.
Yes,
And then you're saying it's a culture. You're clashing with yourself.
I'm not clashing. I'm telling you that culture and being black is not the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. That's what I was saying to Bianca.
But what I'm saying is that you can't pick and choose. So what I'm saying is that you're not forced into culture. I cannot force you to go and like she said, I can't force that on you.
what I'm
Yeah.
I can't
But
force
people
that
do that all the time. They force their kids to
No, but I'm
slaughter
saying,
animals.
but-
They force their kids to go up the mountain.
Yes, but do you understand that? I'm forcing you into it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that when you willingly choose that, you now must accept all that it comes with. You can't accept half of that, or you can't take the things that will suit you. That's what I'm
But
fighting.
don't people do that all the time? Like they just
That's
slaughter
what
a
I'm fighting.
goat. They'll get
That's
the
what I'm
thing. They won't
fighting.
drink the bile.
That's
So does that piss you
That's
off?
what
That
I'm
pisses you
fighting.
off.
That's what I'm fighting, because it also dives into our next topic as well. But it also dives into even dating, and that is why, as a black generation, we are fucked up when it comes to dating.
Yo,
What?
bro, it's fucked up.
No. Black dating is all the way fucked up.
Yeah.
Because we have these millennials or their way of thinking that they're thinking right now, and they're trying to use practices from back then to apply into the dating now. And it's like, it makes no sense, man. You can't tell me that you want a man that's gonna be a provider. Do you know what a provider is? If I provide, what are you doing? You need to do your role too, because you are now taking you want to be a part. You want to take a cultural traditional thing from back then and apply it to you. So take all of it. If you tell me that I must be a provider, I'm gonna tell you, if you're gonna be a provider, then you're gonna be the mother of my kids.
Are you talking about slay queens?
I'm talking women in general. I'm talking women in general, not just
Yeah.
specific slave queens. Because now, at least 95% of women now have this talk back thing. Whereas if we're talking culture, you don't talk back. You don't talk back to a man.
Whoa.
Once I put my
Sorry.
foot down, I'm not going to feminism. I'm not trying to push feminism. No.
Wait,
I'm speaking purely on the cultural aspect. Before people are catch.
Are you telling me that before recently, and in your opinion, women weren't meant to talk back?
This is why you're not black. This is why you're not black.
That's why I'm not black.
This is why you're not black.
love
So we literally just did a
love
whole
this. I
mini
love
history
this.
lesson. We literally just went on a whole
love this.
history train right now. So
I
what I'm
have
saying,
to-
I'm not
agree
black
with
because I believe
Jalo,
that
though.
women are allowed to
I
talk
have
back.
to-
no, but that's
I
now.
have to agree with
That's now, CP. Back then, it was a thing of a
I
woman
agree
should
with
not
you.
be able to talk back to a man.
I
Because it was a
agree
thing
with
of, if a woman, well, right now, if a woman wants to come and bring me food, she'll have to go on her knees and give me the food. Because that was a traditional thing back
And
then.
on a tray.
Yeah, I'm putting on a tray. It was a back then thing.
Some
you get what I'm
people
saying?
still do it.
And that comes with the tradition that you want of me being a provider. Those are the things that you'll have to do because you want me to be a provider. You're asking me to take a tradition. Sorry.
But back then we also used to kill cheetahs.
But we're not talking about that now.
Rhinos used to come into your crib.
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. So I understand that we're
So I
developing.
think that it's a little bit
Can I finish?
different
Can I finish?
when your girlfriend
Can I
gets
finish?
paid more than you.
Can I finish? Can I finish? All right.
Finish.
Can I finish? We're talking about now dating. That's our next topic that we're going into right now, is the dating aspect of that, okay?
Yeah.
And what I'm saying, that you can't pick half of the traditional aspect of that. You can't tell me that you want a man that's going to provide for you, because where that stems from, it stems from a traditional aspect of what a provider is. And you're going to tell me all the things of what a provider is. Looks after his kids, looks after the house, does that. Those are all things that were customs back then that apply. Great, by all means, I'm not fighting you there. Where I am fighting you is when you are now making up your own new traditions with the same cultural traditions that you're telling me to do. So you're telling me that I must still be stuck in the old ways and do the old way things while you continue doing the new way things. That's what I'm fighting. Is that no, let's rather have a conversation of, you know what, if you want to be a provider, what will you now do? Because I can't now be the one that's doing everything around the house and all you're doing is waking up and taking pictures and posting on Instagram and going on dates and asking me for money for food and asking me for money to go out and asking for spa dates.
But don't you think I think for me that's immature women.
Yeah,
You
you
don't
shouldn't
understand
even be
that there's,
married to someone like that.
Yeah.
Why
A
even
give and
dating
take.
I'm not
someone
talking
like
about marriage or dating, but I can tell you now, no girl will date a broke nigga.
But isn't that
'Cause
nature?
no nigga should be broke, motherfucker. What you mean?
Exactly.
And
That's
where's
terrible.
that coming from? And where's
That's
that coming
terrible.
from? And where is that coming
Yeah,
from?
I know.
How are you gonna?
But where's that
how
coming
are you
from?
gonna say that to niggas in Afghanistan? Are you broke ass niggas struggling through this war with
And
this
where's that- and where's that coming
Taliban?
from? Because I can even give you a simple example. Back when we used to go to school, how the hell does a female think that even though I'm in matric, I already have a car? Because if I had, okay, let me give a practical example. I had a girlfriend back then, sharp. Then a nigga with a car came through. Who did she go for? The nigga with the car.
So that's a weird one because, like, at my school, there were like 5 kids with cars. So
What
it's
color were they?
like, huh?
What color were they?
They were Indian.
What's that type? Come on, man. Come on. We're talking about black. Hey, keep up, CP.
There were rich black kids at my school too.
We're talking about being black, the majority over minority, please. Majority over minority.
Okay, cool.
Let's
No.
let's stick with the majority.
No. Continue
not
with
the
your
minority.
points.
Come
No,
on, sir.
I want to hear you out today.
All right, sharp. Okay, cool. So even that is that black. I just think black women don't look beyond themselves in terms of thinking that, you know what, I can't put pressure on the guy to be financially stable, to have a house, to have a car, just like that. You get what I'm saying? And that's the guy that you would likely go for than the guy that's like starting out, that's still trying to make it through. Yes, even though women have a nose for the nigga with potential, girls have a nose for nigga with potential. Yeah. But
I also think social media has messed up
Definitely.
people's
Yeah,
ideas
true.
and that's a now
of
thing.
what rich is.
And that's a now thing.
Definitely.
That's a now
There's
thing.
there's girls who think that having a BMW is normal. There's people who work their whole lives to get a BMW.
To her, it's a normal thing. To her, it's a standard. My ex-boyfriend
Entry
must have a
level.
car.
Entry
Like, what?
level.
Man, you're taking Ubers. Not taking Ubers.
But it's also, I think that also largely ties into the fact that as a man, your value is tied into how much money you
Facts.
make.
That is true.
And as a woman, your value is how pretty you are.
Facts.
In terms of society, largely. Not in terms of what I think. Before people come
You're
for me.
like, what
You
the
saw the
fuck,
body like
CP?
What are you saying?
No, but facts.
But also now that, because we have social media, before that was kind of like an open rumor. Like in the 80s and 90s, that was like an open rumor. But now social media, it's quantified. It's like, 127,000 followers. You are that hot.
Yeah, you popping.
So then, I mean,
Even though you're like probably the brokest person there.
I think, yeah, I mean, look at the whole Dubai situation. Got girls with hundreds of thousands of followers getting literally shit on.
What I will say though, and I always say this, I will never judge someone making a bag. By that I mean, if you tell me that, yo, this is how you make your bag, I will not judge you. Even if
Thank
it's
you.
immoral,
Yeah.
I will not judge. What I will though attack and come for you is if you play it off or you preach it like,
Yeah.
you know what, that's not how you make your money. Or you know what,
Yeah.
I don't really do this. That's where I'll fight you because I'm like, you know what, you are now putting the wrong impression on other females.
I was literally having this chat with my boyfriend Izolo. So there's this girl. Let me just name her. Ustelo, ne? Right? So trust me, I love her. Like, I love the way she looks. I love her new body. I like her
Everything
style.
about
I
her.
like
She bought, yes.
everything about her. Yes. But Izolo, I was taken aback, bro. I was on Instagram and then I saw her pop up. Then I just decided, let me just go into her page. And every single picture is basically about she's basically pushing luxury brands now, right? Fine. Ustelo's always had like taste in
Yeah.
way, but now it's just about like these luxury brands. Yonke into ayigqokayo is now just luxury. It's Valentino, it's Gucci from top to bottom, as in like from top to bottom. Then you also have a Rolex on, and you have those Cartier bracelets.
And those
We're
small
talking
bags.
hundreds of thousands in an outfit. My question to my man was, hey baby, as uselo ngiyamthanda, but this actually bothers me because maybe this is just me being judgmental, ne? I don't know. Maybe you guys know. Does she have a business? Does she have a house? Like, does she actually own anything? My boyfriend was like, oh, but babe, she has a car. I'm like, yeah, that she didn't pay for cash.
That was bought for. Yeah, it's tumble.
She didn't pay for cash. She's probably still paying it off. You know what I mean?
Before you continue, Bianca, sorry to interrupt you. Before you continue, I just want to highlight one thing. Do you know that the people that I don't say idolize, but the wannabe celebs we have in South Africa, do you know that they actually buy fake stuff?
Fine,
Yeah.
even if they do though. If you're going
yeah.
to put yourself in a position where you wanting to portray that you afford Gucci or afford, like, if let's just say it's fake, right? There's certain things that are just a basic, like a staple. You cannot, guys, you cannot be dripping from Gucci top to bottom and you don't have a house. You don't own the house you sleep in.
You were into.
What does that tell
You
you?
don't own a business.
But what does that tell
And
you
you're
though?
literally wearing 300,000 rand right now. 300,000.
Yeah, that's some nigga rich shit.
So my boyfriend was like, oh, but babe, you know, maybe she's seeing someone with stupid money. And I'm like, that doesn't mean she needs to be stupid. This comes, I love Hussein, guys, but I'm just like, and maybe I just don't know. Maybe she actually does have a business. Maybe she does own a house.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've never heard of it. And most of these girls and most of these guys don't actually own shit. So I don't mind anybody, you know,
See,
getting
that's a
using their-
huge thing. That's something
using
that I
their pussy
noticed.
as a bag. I don't mind that. Like, to get a bag, I don't mind that. That's perfectly fine. But what are you doing with the bag?
Me, I
Are
promote.
you honestly opening your legs?
That's
just
something
to
I
drip
noticed
in
as well, is
Gucci?
that it's like when I used to work in Joburg, when I used to work in the music entertainment scene, there'd be people who would be wearing 40,000 rand outfits who live in like I'd go into apartments and I'd be like, I know people in Durban whose parents are richer than you. Do you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be the top rapper in your
Yeah.
field in this and that. And, you know, my friend Kyle's mom has a nicer house than this. Do you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think that in South Africa and particularly in Durban, we have this really bad thing about people seeing how wealthy you are.
Then you've made it. in
Nobody
life.
cares
When
about
you
the
actually
quality
haven't
of their
made it.
actual
Yeah.
life.
That's the thing. That's the narrative that's always been in Durban. It's always been the clouds. It's always been the clouds.
I don't think only in Durban, in Joburg as well.
No, Joburg rotates.
But at Joburg, in
Joburg is
Joburg,
too big to
Yeah.
purely be about clouds. It is too big to purely be about clouds.
for us, it's literally
It's
about
'cause-
showing the next person because we are like this.
Because even a simple example will be the big three that runs Durban. Used to be Big Five, but now the big three that runs Durban, and we all know them.
Who's the big three?
I can't mention them because I
Okay.
don't want none of their smoke. But
Scared of losing his life.
no, I just don't want none of their smoke. But these are niggas that we usually used to give lifts to and carry and share a glass of alcohol because they couldn't even afford one. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's almost like people have forgotten that. It's like people have forgotten who these niggas used to be. Like these niggas came from nothing and did some corrupt stuff, whatever, to be who they are right now. Again, I won't judge you for making your bag, but what I'm saying is that how they are now projecting it as if like
They've been.
it's been like that. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
clouds is the number one currency in Durban. If you don't have clouds, you ain't
You're not
shit.
popping.